What's up, everyone? This is Troy from GlitchFeed here at RTX 2015. I'm here with Karsten from Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed Syndicate. So we just got a little bit of hands-on time with the game, the black box mission. A lot of fun, I have to say. Absolutely love it so far. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about the development cycle and where you guys are at with what you're showing off?
Yeah, well, we're pretty close. You know, the game's coming out on October 23rd. We are really in the polish phase and have been in the polish phase for a little while now. In fact, on this game, we had our earliest alpha we've ever had on an Assassin's Creed, which has given us lots of time to do the polish, because that's really where the game starts to shine.
And it's very polished right now. We were just commenting before. It's clean. The combat is already smooth. Everything. It almost feels like it's ready to go. It looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, the team will continue to work
of
for
course.
the next,
keep them on the payroll a little bit. Get something.
There's still work to be done.
Of course, of course. A lot we haven't seen yet. Of course. So the couple things I want to ask about, especially with the demo, I noticed experience, skill tree. Can we talk a little bit about that and how that's going to play into it?
Yeah, well, I mean, the very novel thing with Assassin's Creed Syndicate is we have two playable protagonists. So we have Jacob Fry and his twin sister Evie, and they're very, very different personalities and very different characters to play with as well. So Jacob is much more of a brawler, in-your-face fighter, while Evie is much more of a master of stealth.
Right.
And so their individual skill trees are very, very different. So and obviously Evie's will be more stealth related. So that XP that you're getting feeds into that.
Feeds into that. Very cool. Talk about that, because it's new for Assassin's Creed to have two playable characters, to have two main protagonists. How's that changed the story, changed the feel of it a little bit?
I mean, it changes it in quite a few ways. You know, they're twins. Their overall objective is the same. They want to rid London of the Templars that are controlling all the main areas of power, and these Templars are using gangs to oppress the working class and keep the population of London in check. So Jacob sees an opportunity there of take over these gangs and then go after the Templars. Evie is takes a more direct approach. So she'll go after the Templars directly in a classic assassin style, and she's also after like the classic Assassin's Creed Pieces of Eden and things like that. And that's actually was in the demo that you were playing just now. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we're in Victorian London now. How is that? We're moving forward into more modern times, and we obviously have seen the grappling hook as kind of the new addition. How is the more industrial sense kind of have to play into Assassin's Creed a little bit? Yeah,
I mean, probably the most, when you pick up and play the full game for the first time, the first thing you'll notice is that the streets are bustling, not just with people, but with traffic as well. Yeah. So we have horse-drawn carriages all around town, all many different shapes and sizes, and that brings a whole completely different feel and a whole bunch of new gameplay possibilities. So that would be the most obvious difference that you'll see straight away when you start playing Syndicate.
And we heard there's vehicles as well. There's going to be vehicle.
No, we count the horse-drawn carriages as vehicles.
Oh, is that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, the first car was still a bit before that.
Yeah. All right, that's fair. It'd be a little weird to see the car already in the game.
Yeah, you know. So
one other thing I had was, the combat seems almost more brutal than anyone I've ever seen, but it's clean. There's a lot more gun. There's a lot more finishing moves. Is there a more darker take for the series, or is it just the Victorian London has to get a little more violent?
It was a very tough time. Yeah. It was a tough time in many respects. Tough for the people who weren't part of the 1% or the 5% who had the privileges of that time. Right. The vast majority of people in London were working in factories or forges or these kind of
rough areas.
And it really was the first. When we started researching it, it was clear that sort of organised crime was taking root in London at that time as well. So we wanted to tap into that. And that sort of griminess of Victorian London, but at the same time still celebrate what's great about my home city. Where we have these all these wonderful landmarks. It doesn't rain all the time. We have some sunny days, and the game reflects that as well. So when the sun's shining and you're going through Westminster, it looks resplendent.
Right.
So you know, we have all these different boroughs in the game, going right from sort of to the east with Whitechapel, which is really run down, and the industrial areas on south of the river, over to Westminster, where it's a lot more you know, upper class and shiny.
Now this is the biggest Assassin's Creed map you guys have had, correct?
Yep. Yeah, we get bigger every year, basically.
Every year.
Yeah.
Unity was huge. It was massive, and just to see that even get bigger is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why I think the map gets bigger is the fact that we have this huge river going through. So the River Thames was probably, don't quote me on this, probably one of the busiest waterways in the world at that time. I mean, it makes sense. It's the biggest city, and so yeah, it was teeming with all manner of different types of boats.
Right.
And you can, you know, there's a lot of fun to be had, you know, hopping from boat to boat. You don't necessarily have to use a bridge to get across anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very good. Yeah, the first mission, I mean, as we came in, was you're standing on the barge, kind of moving across in. So that's going to be very cool to see. Definitely. Well, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate the demo and getting a chance to speak with you.
I'm glad you had fun.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Thanks a lot, guys.